let us in on his big weakness.
I got a little problem for sweets. You know, I like my candy and my cookies, and I try and control it every once in a while, but sometimes it gets a little haywire, and I dig into a big box of cookies and go for it.
A 2-3 podium appearance in the last round moved him from 6th to 3rd in the points.
At the beginning of the year, I was shooting, you know, if I can get top 5 in the series, that'd be really good. That's what I was expecting. Right now, I'm doing a little better than expected. It's the beginning of the season, so we'll see how it goes the rest of the season, but I'd really be happy. I'm expecting to hopefully get up there and win a moto this year. I think I'm capable of doing it, and as long as I can, you know, if I'm running up front and I'm doing the best I can and I know that I'm putting in good races, regardless whether I end up winning a race this year, I'll be happy if I end up, you know, knowing that I rode the best I could this year.
Michael here in the opening moto at Southwick, Massachusetts, in 6th place, trying to chase down number 33, Casey Lytle.
Just amazing me how fast they ran that corner. When I raced here, that was a little bit more of a jig jog through there, and it got rough. Now they're just flat out all the way through. Brandis, this is where I was talking about Lytle. He had to stay sharp, stay focused through the end of this moto. This is why, because Brandis is making time here and there, and now he's got a battle on his hands.
Brandis to the inside, and Michael Brandis moves up another notch.
This is a question of desire and fitness, I think, at this point in the race. And Brandis just took the best line, Art, coming around that down the hill. I think Lytle, if he really wanted that spot, would have had to at least take the best line, make it that much harder for Brandis to pass.
Our leader is still Ricky Carmichael here in the opening 125 moto. It's Carmichael, Sellards, Walker, Smith, and Brandis the top 5. But Lytle and Antonez holding tight. When we return, we'll be racing for the checkered flag.
Would you look at this? The Suzuki is off to a great start, and all of Daytona is on their feet as the GSXR screams to the tri-oval. The Suzukis are dicing for the lead on the inside of turn 11. He wants a piece of him. He's got it. Oh, did you see that? Outstanding. The rest of the field might as well head home. The TL1000R is slicing for the exit. Oh, my. Suzuki's V-twin is developing incredible horsepower as it thunders up the hill away from the...
Remarkable, the GSXR 600 and 750 AMA Super Sport National Champions.
The rumble of a big V-twin makes your blood race. You grew up on the pegs of a dirt bike. You could smell a carb running rich from a mile away. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Stuart and I get the playoff picture back from the darkroom when we come back.
We're clear.
Oh, the prompter's going too fast. I can't keep up.
Come on, it's not the teleprompter. It's you. Now stop the...
My throat, I can hardly talk.
Give him some tea. Give him some tea.
I can't go back out there. I don't want to go back out. Cut me. Cut me, Lou.
Come on, baby. Come on. Snap out of it. Don't be a lollipop. Get out there. Tonight's your night.
Oh, without question, these days, the word on everybody's lips.
Art Eckman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns with you from Southwick, Massachusetts. Ricky Carmichael is our leader here in the 125 first moto, but here is a great battle. Back and forth we go. Matt Walker, number 80. Danny Smith right there on the Honda. Smith squaring the corner, tries to the inside, but Walker outpowers him.
A good idea by Danny Smith to try to square him off. He stayed out of the line, but not the best place to pass. There's barely one line there.
Let's go down to the pits now, and Dave Burns is with Matt Walker's mechanic.
Jason, it was a great start for Matt. How do you keep him motivated now, and how far do you want him to go?
I'd like to see top 3. We really kind of use this because at home we got a track just like this, and this is kind of like home track to him. So really just mainly relax and think positive and hopefully be there at the end.
Facing a good old boy from Georgia. Matt Walker. Still in front of Danny Smith. Danny Smith's giving it all he's got, though, isn't he, David?
Well, he's been putting in a pretty solid ride, and for Matt Walker, I mean, you can say, well, yeah, he got a good start, and that's why he's up there, but, you know, Buddy Antonez is up there as well at the beginning. It's not easy to stay there. So Matt's had a great ride. Carmichael, on the other hand, I don't know if you'd call this great or just kind of nonchalant.
Right now, it's a ride in the park for him as he checked out so early and was so far in front. As we take a look at the top 20 summary up in the left portion of your screen, Number 557, Scott Carter, is from nearby Manchester, Connecticut. It seems like, David, every year we have a Northeasterner do well and open some eyes here at this track.
There have been some fast guys, and one guy I can think of that I'll never forget watching him dice for the win was JoJo Keller in the 250 class. My bike broke down back in like '79. He's dicing with Howard and Hannah. That was the most determination I've ever seen on anybody, because he was clearly the underdog, and he was swapping just like Matt did through there the entire race, held those guys off. It's amazing.
Smith really pushing Walker to his limit.
Oh, you can tell Walker wants it. Usually you do some swapping like that, you tend to back off just a touch.
Well, look at the speeds. Now, Smith to the inside as we go back to Ricky Carmichael.
Cruising down the downhill. He just looks bored. You know? I mean, this guy's going to have to start from 10th or worse from now on to make this interesting for us, it looks like.
It will be his 6th win in 7 motos.
Here's a little sample as to why. Just hopping through the racetrack, even in the final lap, just floating over everything, as fluid as anybody else out there in the racetrack. Wish they could.
While we check out our leader as he heads toward the checkers, Walker has repassed Smith for 3rd. Ricky Carmichael gets the checkered flag.
Well, he made that look pretty easy, Art, but, you know, it really came down to getting the whole shot and establishing a good rhythm right off the bat. It helped that Bowen fell down, but the second moto could be an entirely different story.
Carmichael, Brock Sellards, his best finish of the year. Matt Walker in the top 3. Dallin Boland in 5th place, losing more valuable points to Ricky Carmichael. Let's go down to Dave, who's with our champion.
Well, Ricky Carmichael continues the domination. First of all, congratulations, Rick, on a great ride.
Well, thanks. You know, it felt good. My Kawasaki Bridgestone tires hooked up off the gate, man. That tire I had on the back was just phenomenal, and got me the whole shot, and it feels good.
Now, this is a narrow place, tough to pass. Didn't have to worry about the guys you were racing with, but a lot of lappers today. Any close moments out there?
Not really. You know, it's track's really short, so you do get into a lot of lappers, and you know, I felt good, and just got to go out there the second moto and do the same. So congratulate Matt Walker for putting in a good ride. We practiced together all week with Ezra, and it looks like our work's paying off.
All right, Southwick's first moto to Ricky Carmichael.
Number 1, Ricky Carmichael, and it was the best ride of the year for number 80, Matt Walker. He had a near race-long battle with Danny Smith, but came out on top to hit the podium for the first time. Let's go back to Dave.
Well, after the start of the season, I suppose there might be a couple people out there saying, Matt, who? Great ride for you. Man, where'd you come from?
Man, I came from Georgia for first thing. We've been practicing all week, man, me and Yogi and Ricky, and I knew I could do it. And this Yamaha, it put me out there. We was joking on the starting line, me and Ricky, about training this week and about who was going to get the whole shot, and I'll be dang if we both didn't get the whole shot. And I like to thank this Boys and Motor and Al Lane Yamaha. They put me on top, and, man, I couldn't have been here without them.
Congratulations, Matt.
Hey, thanks a lot, and I thank everybody else that helped me along the way. This is a dream come true, top 3. Hope everybody sees me at home. How y'all doing, Mom and Dad? Appreciate everything. See you.
Genuine happiness showing through there. Brock Sellards, his best finish of the season, 2nd in the moto behind Ricky Carmichael.
Brock Sellards 2nd today in the first moto. Brock, Ricky was pretty far out in front there, but you were trying to drag him down at the end, I know.
Yeah, well, I saw his pace in practice, and I pretty much said, I think he's going to walk away with it. He had some lines, and he was carrying momentum that no one else was carrying. So, luckily, I got out behind him, and Matt rode a really good race, and me and him battled, and Ricky took off at the beginning, and then it's hard to pump up your pace after the middle of the moto.
Did you learn anything from him, watching him at all, or did you pick up something for your own line for the second moto?
Oh, I definitely picked up some of my own lines. I mean, I tried different lines the first 6 laps behind Matt, and then picked up some good ones. I picked up some from him in practice, so I put them all together, and it's working really good. My Honda FMF bike is just unreal out there. It's so fast. It's been getting me out of the whole shot every single time this week, and the suspension and everything is just killer on it.
125 first moto completed. Now we're looking forward to the 250s. Can Greg Albertine win his 2nd in a row? And can John Dowd win his 3rd race in a row here at this track?
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control. The essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tom Emanski. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy, call toll-free 1-800-233-0500. That's 1-800-233-0500. Call now.
To err is human. To catch air, divine. The X Games. Tonight at 9:30 on ESPN2.
Welcome back to Southwick, Massachusetts, as we are prepping right now for the first moto of 250 action. That was Tim Ferry in his second ride with Chaparral. Greg Albertine, number 8. Albie's gone from 8th to 3rd in the points battle after a sweeping victory in the last round. Here's last year's winner, Doug Henry, getting those muscles warmed up as we take a look at the points chase. Tortelli by 11 points over Ezra Lusk. Albertine still in the battle. Kevin Windham on the rise. As we take a look at the top 10, we've got LaRocco, Rayner, Tim Ferry, Henry, and Button. Let's go down to Dave.
Southwick is a tough place to win a 250 overall. In the last 7 years, there have been 7 different winners here at Southwick, including this guy, John Dowd. He's got local knowledge. He's a former winner here. He could win again today. But can a guy like Sebastian Tortelli make it 8 different winners in 8 years? Well, you say, Dave, he can't get off the pavement. Well, he's been practicing at home, in his driveway. And even though the neighbors may be a little ticked off, Sebastian says he's ready for the pavement start.
The 40-rider field is getting set at the gate now. We take a look at the starting grid with Ezra Lusk and Greg Albertine. Our points leader, Sebastian Tortelli. The factory connection Honda of Mike LaRocco. Windham on the rise, getting good momentum. Jeff Emig looking for some momentum as we take a look at the rest of the 40-rider field.
You know, it just occurred to me, I practiced as well, same as Tortelli, on concrete during the week, and I felt like I had it dialed in. But the difference is when you line up for the moto, you've got 39 other bikes out there making so much noise, you can't hear the RPMs on your own. It makes it a little bit tougher to do in a race situation.
In our rider field, we're not lacking championship experience here at Southwick. Henry won last year. Dowd won in 97. Emig won the main event here in 95, and LaRocco won in 94. Who will it be now in 1999 as we get set for our opening moto for the 250s? They are underway. John Dowd with a great start. Ezra Lusk is right there. Doug Henry as well. LaRocco, a good start. Number 4, Lusk with the pressure on. There's Henry, number 1. But our leader, a very popular guy right here in the Northeast, is John Dowd. Oh, Henry goes down in a dangerous spot.
I was about to say, great start for the local guys, Henry and Dowd. They're both up there in the top 3. Henry, it looked like he went a little bit too far out to the outside. Got hung up on that embankment, didn't have any room to drop back down in with all the riders there.
So John Dowd now carrying the Team Yamaha colors out in front all alone as Ezra Lusk is in pursuit. Oh, a bumpy speed shot right there.
Now picking lines out here is critical. Just moving over 6 inches can make a huge difference in the speed you can carry into a corner or through one.
Lusk is coming off 2 third-place overall finishes. There's Windham, number 14, going through the picture. 20 is Ferry. 10, Jimmy Button.
There goes Tortelli and Larry Ward just going through the corner. I think on a track like this, maybe not in the first couple of laps, but as this race starts to settle down a little bit, this is the kind of place where you can make a lot of passes. So Tortelli has proven that he can do that. It's going to be tough to catch his leaders, but he can still get up in the top 3.
Several of these riders, including Tortelli, raced at a local race here last week, and now Tortelli is down. He tangled with Jimmy Button. So this is a great break for Ezra Lusk points-wise.
Haven't I said that he and Button get together all too often? Here they go again. Button obviously hit this on his left side there. It's a little tougher to get that bike started than it is the two-stroke Honda.
John Dowd still our leader, but Ezra Luska's right there knocking on the door.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is not only keep the race close, let Dowd know he's going to be a problem, but study everything that Dowd does. He's won here the last 2 years on 125 and 250s, and he knows something.
It's obvious John Dowd has gained more strength than that injured shoulder. We'll be right back with more action.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, to see if they could get out. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Honda ATVs, best on earth.
To accomplish everything you need to do on the ground, often you have to spend time in the sky. Fortunately, what you do both places can help you get where you really want to go. Just get the Delta Sky Miles credit card from American Express, giving you American Express service on the ground and Delta Airlines service in the sky.
You can apply now, right over the phone. Just call 1-800-SKY-MILE.
With the Delta Sky Miles credit card, every dollar you spend gets you a Delta Sky Mile. And when you buy your Delta ticket with it, you gain even faster. You get 1.5 Sky Miles for every dollar you spend. Plus, when you apply now, you'll receive 5,000 bonus Sky Miles automatically with the card. And of course, you'll get American Express service worldwide.
Call 1-800-SKY-MILE and apply now. We can take all the information in just a few minutes.
Call today. The sooner you get the Delta Sky Miles credit card, the sooner you can get someplace you really want to go.
Art Ekman, David Bailey, Dave Burns with you from Southwick, Massachusetts, as our first 250 moto is just underway. A battle going on as Greg Albertine goes after Steve Lampson. Lampson on the Chaparral Yamaha. Greg Albertine of Team Suzuki. Number 24, Lampson. Albertine really gunning it down.
Maybe the battle for fifth, but they're not that.
Whoa. Albertine, and he flops over, losing 1, 2, maybe 3 positions.
That's one of those little things that makes you realize how difficult what they're doing really is. He was just trying to go in there and cut it tight, and the sand just buried. Or the front end, rather, just buried in the sand. He almost did a complete donut.
Takes the heat off a little bit for Steve Lampson, though, but looking right behind him now is Kevin Windham putting the pressure, and Lampson goes down. Oh, my goodness, the battles are being decided by crashes right now.
He's stuck, too. I don't think he's gonna get loose.
Albertine, Ward, got his leg caught underneath there.
Well, that's frustrating, because if he could have just gotten right up, he'd probably only lost a couple of positions. Now all the energy. Watch what happens here to Lampson. He's going to hit a braking bump. He didn't really mean to hit. See how high the back end kicked? And the front end started dancing around. He didn't even have a chance to save that. All he did was hit the wrong bump with his guard down just a little bit.
Immediately looking back to see who was coming down the pipe, too. Here's the battle for third. LaRocco chasing Damon Huffman, gets a good launch off that top.
Had a good drive up the hill, jumped the whole bump. Everyone else been hitting, but look at LaRocco just muscle his way to the inside.
Mike LaRocco, an easy inside move. At least he made it look easy. Now takes over third position.
Takes a lot of nerve to commit and go down that inside that fast, because it's just full of holes. You're going to hit some of them, and you may hit them wrong. You saw what happened to Lampson, so that's the kind of nerve it takes to try to go fast here. Lap it for 30 minutes. That's the kind of state of mind you're in. A little bit scared, fully committed.
I really love this track. It's so busy. I mean, just after you get through with one section, bam, you got another challenging one right in your face.
Well, just look at how rough it is getting into this corner. Then you get into the corner, you got to get right back on the power. And then into probably the most photographed berm in all of motocross right there. The sand here just forces you to work the whole moto.
It's a rough track, and Mike LaRocco says it's one of his favorites.
Actually, the track itself, it's a fun track to ride. It's really rough, and I like the fact that it's demanding. But to actually race on it, it gets really big sand berms on the inside, and it's real difficult to pass. You get dirty. Not real happy about that, but like I said, it's a tough track, and I think that'll make the difference here.
Back to the action here in Moto 1 of the 250s. John Dowd getting all sorts of pressure from Ezra Lusk.
Neither one of these guys looking real smooth at this point. I think they're just trying to go as fast as they can. Look at Lusk just creating a new line, a little gardening with his bike just to try to find somewhere he didn't have to hit some holes.
Dowdy so far has not yielded to the pressure of Ezra Lusk. He's got a good ride going for himself.
It looks like what Lusk is planning to do is keep the pressure on Dowd, and as soon as he finds him starting to get a little bit tired or any flaw, he'll get by and go on for the win. If he passes him early, Dowd could retaliate, but I think Dowd's gone fast enough this entire moto that he really hasn't allowed Lusk to have that opportunity or even see that it's there.
Lusk has one moto win on the season. That was the first moto at Hangtown. Looking for number 2 right now as he chases down John Dowd. Before we take a break, let's take a look at the Suzuki trivia question for this week. Which Suzuki rider won a 125 championship by only 1 point? The answer when we get back.
Come on, get away. It's time for a little Lansdowne. Lansdowne Resort, less than an hour from D.C. Come on, get away. It's time for a little Lansdowne.
It's time for a little Lansdowne. Play golf and tennis, swim, sun, and more. Call for information.
You heard about the new gun shop in Leesburg? If you're a sportsman and you haven't heard, you're missing out. When you stop by Loudon Guns, you'll be amazed at the amount of inventory they have for a new gun shop. Not only do they have handguns, rifles, and shotguns, they have archery, black powder, and reloading supplies. Their prices are great, and their service is genuine. Don't miss out any longer on the newest and largest gun shop in the area. Stop by Loudon Guns. They're right off Catoctin Circle in Leesburg.
To make it to the big leagues with all the long ball hitters, it's easier than it looks. Just enter the ESPN Long Ball Sweepstakes presented by Century 21, and you could score a trip for 2 to the 2000 All-Star Week. Tune into this year's All-Star Week and watch the Century 21 Home Run Derby July 12th at 8 on ESPN. Then call or log on with the player who hits the longest home run. ESPN's Long Ball Sweepstakes. Enter to win.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Mazda. Mazda, get in, be moved.
Welcome back to Southwick, Massachusetts. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns with you, bringing you the action of 250s in Moto number 1. Let's get back to that Suzuki trivia question. Which Suzuki rider won a 125 championship by just 1 point? The answer is Guy Cooper. Back in 1990, edged out Mike Kudrowski by a single point. The battle goes on for the lead here in the 250 Moto number 1. John Dowd, Ezra Lusk. It's been bang, bang all the way. Ezra really hasn't taken the opportunity, though, to make a move.
It looks to me like he's just been staying close and studying. The longer he stays close.
John Dowd fishtailing, and that gave the break to Ezra Lusk. He just took it. It was given to him.
I was about to say, the longer you stay close like that, the more pressure you put on the guy, and as he gets down to the end, you can look for a mistake.
We'll see if Dowdy can come right back and make an assault on Ezra Lusk, or if Ezra decides to check out as we take another look.
Well, watch Dowd. He's trying to aim to the inside. Lucky to save that. He had to throw his leg out there and use a little bit of body English to try to keep that bike straight. And he recovered pretty nice, but it had to take a little bit out of him. Plus, he knows that Lusk was there the whole time. Now he's going to go hard. It's going to be hard for Dowd to retaliate.
Dowdy coming back sooner than the doctors really wanted him to with that injury from the Supercross season. There's Lusk, our new leader, John Dowd, and maybe a reason that Lusk decided to make a move was that guy right there, Mike LaRocco.
LaRocco is closing fast. He's the kind of guy that's dangerous in that final couple of laps. So Lusk may have felt the need to really apply the pressure to Dowd and get LaRocco off his back, and it turned into a pass or lead for him.
Ezra Lusk in the lead. Portelli He's not even in the top 10. That'll help him points-wise. Here's a big battle going on. Albertine and Kevin Windham. Albertine to the inside. Albertine, after crashing or at least going down, has got back up and moved into 5th place.
He just fought through that section a lot more than Kevin did. Doesn't look like Kevin's ready to give up, but he definitely handed that inside line to Albertine, knowing there wasn't much he could do there. He'd have to take some big chances to try to go around the outside and hold on to the spot.
Albertine is looking like he's back to form, the form that won him 3 GP World Motocross titles. We asked him about his win in the last round.
Yeah, I was really excited. You know, this is the first time I've gone 1-1 since '94, so it was really just a good race for me. I felt extremely good, and I didn't just win, I dominated, so that made me feel even better, and I'm hoping to repeat that here.
Currently in 5th spot, Greg Albertine, and he's really done a nice job getting back to 5th after going down.
It's frustrating when you win a race. You know, after he dominated that, then they had a week off, so he didn't really get to continue that momentum. It just shifted into everybody else's corner.
Here's our leader. Ezra Lusk going through the picture, and turning it on is Mike LaRocco.
Whoa.
John Dowd tries to protect that inside. Look at the rain. It's starting to rain.
Coming down hard right now. That affects your concentration, especially your vision. Right now, if Dowd can hold off LaRocco, he'll ruin his vision. Look how clean Dowd is. Probably like to keep it that way, but LaRocco is both these guys are tough. When it's muddy or sandy or rough, they're always the ones fighting it, making up time at the last part of the moto.
The battle is on for 2nd place. John Dowd trying to hold on to his best moto finish of the season. Mike LaRocco trying to gain his best finish. That would be a 2nd place if he can pass John Dowd.
Well, they can just see Lusk right down at the bottom of the hill, too.
LaRocco with his sights on John Dowd. Let's see what happens. They've got a rider in between, and Mike LaRocco to the inside. He took the right line. And now Dowdy having problems getting by the lapper.
That was just a little bit of bad luck, possibly a bad decision on Dowd's part. He'd have been better off just following that lapper through the best line and not giving it to LaRocco. Watch right here. He's trying to figure out what to do. He goes, well, I'll take it. I'll gamble, go to the outside berm. But look at LaRocco can just go right around that inside berm.
And then LaRocco just powering out in front to take 2nd place away from Dowd. Mike LaRocco, number 3. Out in front is Ezra Lusk. Look at the rain.
Pouring now. It's probably the best place for something like that to happen here at Southwick. It's not going to get muddy. It'll just actually get better.
It drains pretty good, the sand, actually.
Soaks it all up as well.
Our Dave Burns is down to the mechanics area with Ezra Lusk's mechanic, Mike Gosler.
Mike, did you tell Ezra to pick it up when you knew that Mike had gotten around John?
Yeah, Mike's a serious threat back there. He rode here last week, and I'm pretty sure he knows where the track goes. And he's making up a little time here and there, but Yogi looks like he might be able to hold his own.
Okay, what about Ezra? Is he running a good line as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, I think so. We kind of counted on it raining, so we guessed, and looks like we picked right.
And guys, it's pouring down here now. I guess they guessed on rain.
Well, that's an important decision before the race starts. Is it going to rain? Is it not going to rain? It's maybe not as critical as an IndyCar, though, but still, it's an important decision.
Well, now is when the bikes can suffer problems. I don't think they're going to have any standing water on the track. That's where they run into more problems, sucking water and ruining the motor. Look at Albertine, just charging.
Goes after Damon Huffman and succeeds. Huffman tries that inside turn, but Albie pours it on to the outside.
Albie just unaffected by the rain. Seems to be inspired by it, if anything.
Albie's only had one difficult moto this year. That was a 12th place in the 2nd moto at Hangtown near Sacramento. Otherwise, he's been hanging right in there, trying to make a move on the 2 points leaders. Lusk, LaRocco, Dowd, our top 3, and we'll be back with more 250 action after these words.
It possesses a passion inspired by the world's fastest Falcon. And a history that could only come from Suzuki. Introducing the incredible GSX 1300R Hayabusa, the largest displacement sports bike Suzuki has ever built. It's proof you don't need wings to fly.
You like to draw, or paint, or maybe just sketch and doodle? Well, if you do, chances are you have the interest needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. There's no cost or obligation. Take the test at home in your spare time and mail it to us when you're done. Our experts will review and grade your test. Call our toll-free number today for your free art test. Don't let the wonderful world of art pass you by. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-233-0500. That's 1-800-233-0500.
My apartment has a TV. I watch RPM tonight for my knowledge. The more I watch, the bigger it gets. Someday, I will share my knowledge with the world. That will be a fun day.
With the rain coming down here in our first Moto at 250 action, welcome back Art Eckman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns. Our leader, Ezra Lusk, as we go back to look for the battles. Number 31 is Damon Huffman. He's in 5th spot. Right behind him, Team Honda's Kevin Windham.
Windham starting to pick it up, put a little pressure on Damon, but the hard part here is vision. You know, we're able to see fine, but these guys soaking up all that roost. Well, that's not going to be a problem now. Just pass the guy. Put the roost in his face, but it's very difficult. All that rain coming down. See from our one camera, it was already starting to get messed up on the lens. These guys are riding practically blind.
So Kevin Windham now moves into the top 5. A little slush down there at the bottom, as Kevin taking it kind of careful around that turn.
Got to be a little bit more careful to line choice right now. Get on the throttle hard coming out of the corner while you're in the deep sand. But as soon as you get out onto the flat into some of the harder pack stuff, back off just a little bit. Use a little bit better throttle control. That's what Kevin's so good at. Already starting to put a little distance on Huffman now.
Kevin's had an interesting season so far. He has 3 hole shots on the year. He got his very first national win at Hangtown without a first-place moto, a 3-2. And those mechanics have a lot on their mind right now, David Bailey.
Probably hoping that's it for the rain, for one thing, but knowing that they got a lot of work to do on the bikes now. A little bit of rain and some of the mud out there on the track takes its toll, wears things out. I don't think they're going to really worry too much about tire choice. It's already sandy. If you were going to choose a mud tire, it'd be essentially the same thing.
That sand permeate every bit of your engine, does it?
Well, if it gets sucking through the filter, especially in watery conditions, I think they're going to be okay here. Just got to make sure they get everything cleaned up. I think for the riders, really, they're going to have to, the track's going to change considerably in the way that it develops now that it's got this much water put down on it. So line choice, the second moto, would be completely different than this moto.
Ezra Lusk, our leader, looking for his very first win at Southwick. There's been a lot of individual winners here over a tremendous 20-year history at this track. We've only had 3 riders that have multiple wins.
Wow,
Tortelli, he has really put the throttle down.
I didn't even see him a moment ago. I was just looking at Windham and Huffman. All of a sudden, Tortelli just catching these guys from 4 seconds back.
Tortelli knocking on the door of Damon Huffman right now. Boy, has he come back after that little mix-up with Jimmy Button early in the race.
He has come on strong. That's been his trademark in this outdoor series. He knows he's got to pick off every rider he can. It's valuable points. The bad news is, even if he works up past Windham and Huffman, he's still going to come in and realize that Lusk got the win and possibly took over the points.
A difference of 3 points between first and second, and a 2-point difference between second and third as far as the point structure is concerned. Weeding through the lappers right now and trying to get by Damon Huffman as number 44, Sebastian Tortelli. Boy, did he start the season with a dominating performance. Sweeping motos at Glen Helen. Tortelli to the inside on Huffman, and he's got Wyndham right in front of him.
And it doesn't look like Wyndham's going to be able to be much of a match for Tortelli with the pace he's got. He made a one-handed pass on Huffman over a jump. That's a symbol of some confidence anyway. I think one of Sebastian's most powerful tools is that he can go pretty much anywhere he wants to go on the racetrack at any time. So his ability to pass is probably better than anyone on the racetrack, just simply because he just picks his spot and goes for the move.
Tortelli coming into this race with an 11-point lead on Ezra Lusk, and Tortelli to the inside makes the move on Kevin Wyndham.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Tortelli able to make a pass through a section that up until now has been pretty much one line.
Tortelli from Marseille, France, in the south of France. Usually stays pretty warm there, but he sure rides well under adverse conditions. Time is running down here in our opening 250 moto from Southwick, Massachusetts. Our leader continues to be Team Honda's Ezra Lusk. Mike LaRocca, though, picking up. John Dowd still in third.
Lots of big pressure coming in from the west. That's going to bring in all that great big sunshine. That's your big forecast. Now, get out there and make it a big day.
It's easy to spot someone who rides a Yamaha Roadstar. With its huge 1600cc engine, it's more than the world's biggest V-twin cruiser.
It's the big stuff.
It's perfect for those little rides into town.
It's the big stuff.
What sets some people apart gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer.
Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
The top women on the LPGA Tour tee off in St. Louis for the Michelob Light Classic. Begins Thursday at 11 on ESPN2.
Not too far away from the checkers flying here in our first moto at Southwick, Massachusetts for the 250s. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns.
Rocco going by. Here comes Dowd. Neither one of those guys have goggles. And it looked like Lusk still had his, so that could be the main. It looks like he's opened up a little gap over these guys as well, so that could be the main reason.
John Sebastian Waugh right in front of Mike LaRocca there. LaRocca trying to lap him, and our leader, number 4, Ezra Lusk, who's had pretty much of an open field, and here he is. Ezra Lusk heads toward the checkered flag at Southwick, Massachusetts. He will pick up some valuable points on Sebastian Tortelli as he takes the checkered flag. A tremendous ride for Ezra Lusk. There you see Mike LaRocca just coming across the finish line in second place. A drenched Jeff Stanton goes over to congratulate Ezra Lusk. So it'll be Lusk, LaRocca, and Dowd out of this first moto with Greg Albertine and Kevin Wyndham rounding out the top 5, and Tortelli, our points leader, all the way back in 6th position. For probably the most popular rider at this track, John Dowd, it's his best finish this season. Let's go down to Dave Burns now, who's with Dowdy.
John, great moto for you there. Came on strong there at the end. What happened that you couldn't get by Mike again?
I was just a little pumped up, you know, my arms. I guess with the rain, it was starting getting a little slick, and I don't know, just a little nervous maybe. I haven't been running up front yet this year, so, or you know, it's so far in the outdoor series, so it's still a little nerve-wracking to me out here, but I was hoping to do good here today and kind of get back in the groove. So.
Let me ask you this. When the rain started coming down, did you say, oh yeah, or oh no?
Actually, it kind of screwed me up in a few places because they put some clay down here and there, and I was kind of running some insides, and with the rain, the clay got real slippery, so I had to kind of change my lines up a little bit. But normally I don't mind the rain though. I don't mind getting dirty.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Mike LaRocca coming off that miserable 14-13 finish at Mount Morris with equaling his best moto of the season. Let's go back to Dave now, who's with the Rocket.
All right, Mike, thunderclaps out here, but that wasn't the most excitement for you there today. Got a little pressure from the end there from John Dowd. How was that?
Well, I mean, that happened. It started raining, and, you know, probably just over halfway in, and I fogged up, so I ended up taking my goggles off. So every time I come up to the lappers, you know, I had a big problem getting around and had a real hard time seeing. So I don't look at that as anything. I felt good at the beginning. I thought, you know, maybe I could catch Ezra once I got around Huffman. So I felt good out there. I was glad I could have maintained second so I could give it a shot in the next moto.
For a while, Ezra Lusk's lust for winning was overpowering his sensibility. He was crashing a lot along with wins, but he's reached a fine consistency so far this year. Let's go back to Dave.
All right, Ezra, then the rains came, and you seemed to get faster. Do you like the mud?
You know, I don't really care. It's, I was just out there racing, having fun. My gloves got a little slick, so that caused me to pump up a little bit, but I knew when I came here I really wanted to win and get a little bit of revenge after Mount Morris when I wasn't really feeling that great.
Did you think it was going to be tough to get around John? I mean, he knows this place so well.
I'll tell you what, that was as hard as I could go earlier. He was just riding really, really good. Luckily, for me, he made a little mistake up there, and that was it.
As the sun starts to break through here at Southwick, Massachusetts, the 125s will be back with their second moto of the program. Can Ricky Carmichael keep that string alive?
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
Now is the perfect time to start weightlifting. The perfect time for SoloFlex. For a lot of good reasons. No other exercise is better for your overall health than weightlifting. The muscle you build on SoloFlex increases your metabolism to burn fat 24 hours a day. Weightlifting also boosts your immune system and increases your aerobic capacity. Weightlifting strengthens your bones and tendons. And nothing works better than weightlifting to improve your looks and energy. Now is the perfect time to call SoloFlex. Call now for your free brochure.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 99, get $400 of free accessories and great financing on selected models.
Welcome back to Southwick, Massachusetts, as the 125 riders coming back to the line for their second moto. You see Brock Sellards. He had a good, clean second-place finish in the opening moto behind Ricky Carmichael as Carmichael tries to keep his win streak alive. Phenomenal performances this year by Ricky Carmichael. Brock Sellards, though, coming off his best moto finish of the season.
All that rain during the 250 moto was great for the racetrack, but horrible down here at the starting line. The challenge has been for everyone to get their starting spot dried out. They've been using towels. Now Brock's trying to lay down a little rubber, hopefully without wearing out the tire.
The young Matt Walker from Southern Georgia, his best moto finish earlier in moto number 1 with a 3rd place. As we're getting set, the 30-second board is up. They'll start revving it up, and we're off. Ricky Carmichael on the inside, Nick Way, number 23. It is Ernesto Fonseca, though, number 100 of Yamaha of Troy, getting the whole shot. A great break for Ernesto. He hasn't been out front much this year.
Well, he must have got an extraordinary jump, because from the looks of Carmichael, he came off perfect. Looked like he had the edge. Still wasn't good enough for the whole shot.
Tom Welch from Charlotte Hall, Maryland, number 92, is also in the mix there on the Suzuki, right in front of Ricky Carmichael. So Fonseca, and now Carmichael moves into second place.
Look how dangerous that guy is. Carmichael, that is, just pulling a tearaway on the uphill with the confidence as if to say, well, I'm going to get this guy, so I won't need another tear off. Even if he doesn't get the whole shot, he's so quick to get to the lead.
Carmichael now Doesn't even stop to go bar to bar, just keeps right on going.
Pulls another tearaway. Now he's got clear sailing once again.
Talon Volan in third, number 711, FMF Honda. So Ricky, coming across the finish line jump, has wasted no time in getting out in front.
Track's in beautiful condition. Take another look at the way Carmichael made his pass. Watch this bump right here Fonseca's going to hit. He's going to hit that. It's going to kick him up in the air. He's going to be heading a little bit over the berm. Can't quite tuck it in there. Carmichael does. Jumps right to the inside. It's a beautiful pass.
Moore had control on his mind more than trying to save a lead, that's for sure.
I think Fonseca was just trying to match Carmichael's pace, and in doing so, he couldn't make the turn.
Fonseca, Volan, and then the Pro Circuit rider, Scott Sheik. A good bang, bang, bang for second, third, and fourth. No national race for the 125s last week. Ricky Carmichael took the weekend off. On the other hand, Talon Volan, who's been on the podium 3 straight times in 3 races, decided I needed more work, and he came up here early to work on this track. He likes it.
I'm very satisfied with the organization here, not prepping the track from last week. I raced here last week at a local race. They didn't touch it since then, so it's really, really rough. And I think that's good because it kind of separates the men from the boys, you know. And that's, for me, much better because I have many years of experience. I know how to pick lines. I know how to ride on these rough tracks. So I'm very satisfied with the track. I think everything's in my direction, and then just get a good start, and then I can hopefully win this thing.
The always positive sounding Talon Volan, as he not only talks about the track but also the important points race. He certainly has the experience to back up his comments as we take a look at the Suzuki top 5. Carmichael, Fonseca, Volan, Sheik, and Michael Brandis. But it is Scott Sheik starting to put some real pressure on Volan. Sheik to the inside as Volan slips a little bit there, and Scott Sheik has moved up a notch.
Surprised me that Volan went as wide as he did. In fact, our camera guy couldn't even get him into view. He went so wide, and it just opened the door for Sheik. He needs to try to get his line choices sorted out a little bit better. I talked about how much different the track would be this moto because of the rain. I think he's experiencing that a little bit. He needs to get that dialed in if he has any shot at trying to get around all these guys, take over second, and even at that point, he's still got a long ways to go to catch Carmichael.
The battle for second place, Fonseca currently holding off Scott Sheik and Talon Volan. Michael Brandis further back in the shot. And way out in front, checking out, is Ricky Carmichael.
A little bit tough to see your lines as you work into the wood sections, the shadows on the racetrack. Trying to determine which bump you want to try to miss. Some of you want to hit on purpose and clear some other bumps. See all the shadows through there. It's really difficult.
Fonseca seems to be holding his own, David.
Well, so far, I think Sheik's going to put a little bit different pressure on him, though. He's had Volan back there. I don't think Volan's up to speed just yet.
Sheik off the track. Looked like he just went out of control, David.
He's missing his visor, so.
I wonder if he could he have hit his head on the tree? Let's take another angle. Scott Sheik, number 26, and yes, it did happen. You're absolutely correct, David. He hit his head on that tree and then landed hard into the berm. The medical staff personnel are hurriedly trying to get to Scott Sheik as we see Talon Volan, who's moved into third place behind Ernesto Fonseca. Ricky Carmichael is still our leader here at Southwick, Massachusetts in the second 125 moto.
You're looking for your favorite NASCAR drivers and racing team collectibles? Look to Wizard Racing, the largest selection at the lowest prices. We carry hats, shirts, gifts, and other hard-to-find memorabilia. Wizard Racing is home of diecast. We have the largest selection in the area. Action, Revell, Brookfield, Cars, Banks. If it's made, we have it or we can get it. The 98 and older merchandise is on sale now. Check out the Jacket Blowout Sale. Wizard Racing, the best prices, the best selection, and the best location. On Route 50, just west of Route 28. Phone 449-8950.
Okay, red means stop.
Red means stop.
I am not Mario Andretti.
I am not Mario Andretti.
An accident and a ticket do not make me a bad person.
If your driving record is a little less than perfect, call your Nationwide insurance agent. We'll help you get the coverage you need.
Nationwide is on your side.
If you're paying more than $35 a month in auto insurance, call Griffin Owens and Associates at 471-0050.
On ESPN.com, checking out my sports fantasy leagues. I'll go in a chat room and I'll meet people. People do trash talk in the chat room. I told somebody I was from Boston and they started in with Buckner this and Buckner that. I just wanted to say, hey, you know, those who have not committed errors, you throw the first stones, okay? If not, leave the man alone and leave me alone and let it go. Let it go.
Welcome back to the second 125 moto here at Southwick, Massachusetts. Art Ekman, David Bailey, David Byrne bringing you the action. Ricky Carmichael is looking for his 4th consecutive victory. He is out in front. As we go back into the field, here's Casey Johnson, number 16. Johnson in 6th place. And Brock Sellers, number 27, who took a 2nd place in the opening moto, is right behind him. Look at Scott Carter in the top 5, number 557 on his plate. Hardly room on the plate for the number.
Well, he's leading his pack as well. Sellers gets a little over the berm there, loses the position. Look at the difference. Fonseca all nice and clean. Bolin just soaking up all that roost.
This has been Ernesto's flattest motocross ride as far as a single moto is concerned so far, as Bolin tries to put the challenge to him, and he's held him off well. Don't let that squirrely action bother you. That's the way Talon Bolin rides.
Rides with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion. You got to be in fantastic shape to ride that way, too. It takes a lot more strength to go out there and hit more holes and ride with that much more nerve.
Fonseca now has got a tiger by the tail. Bolin is really looking for a spot to pass him.
He doesn't find one, he's just going to make one. Look at him charge.
Whoa! Stay out of the trees, Talon. And Bolin makes the pass into 2nd place.
That was just hard work. Paid off, though. Now he can pull a tearaway and see where he's going for a change.
Of course, Talon has got to assume that Ricky Carmichael is out there somewhere. We haven't seen him in a long time. He's so far away in 1st place.
He's getting it on the board. And right now, what he'll look at, and what I would look at, is to see what the differential is. We're going to take another look at his pass first. Talon all the way to the outside. Takes the line away. Look at the measure that Fonseca goes to get all the way back over against the edge of the racetrack to try to hit a smooth line. Maybe a little bit too concerned with trying to miss bumps. That's what allowed Bolin to get around.
Fonseca in his rookie professional season came in with a big splash, winning a Supercross 125 regional crown, but he's learned his lessons here in motocross.
It's been a little tougher for him, but you know, he's just been riding smart. He just had some bad breaks as well. Now that they're approaching the mechanics area, though, for Bolin, he's clear in 2nd. And look at that board and see what the gap is to Carmichael, and then just bust it for a couple laps. See if you can make up some time. If you can, keep going. If not, maybe just try to keep it up on 2 wheels. Ride smart. Take the points.
Here's the battle for 4th. It's Brandis out in front. And number 557 is Scott Carter from nearby Connecticut. The Northeasterner has done a tremendous job here in his first main event. He got a 10th in the opening moto and is currently running in 5th position. Scott Carter is making his mark. A lot of riders get good starts and then everybody passes them, but Scott is holding his own. Let's go down to Dave Burns in the mechanics area. Dave.
Okay, I'm with Eric Olson. He is Scott Carter's mechanic, and obviously a little local knowledge here, but he's having a great run.
Yeah, Scott's a real hard trainer, so I'm hoping he can last, you know, he should be able to last 30 minutes. He knows the track better than anybody, you know, and he's had some good rides at the Nationals here before, so he's hanging in there. Hopefully we can get Brandis. He's catching on him, so I'm looking forward to a good ride.
Carter making a good impression in the first moto, taking a 10th place finish, and right now he's gunning after Brandis for 5th. Should he get that, that would move him up in the overall standings. And for you newcomers, the 125s and 250s each run 2 motos at every event. The riders score points for their finishes, 25 points for first, 22 for second, 20 for third, all the way down to 1 point for 20th. The rider with the most points from the 2 motos wins the overall title. If two riders are tied for first in points, the rider with the better second moto wins the trophy. And the pass has been made into fifth spot for Carter. And he puts his fist in the air a little bit there. A little cautious, but he got it up there.
He reached up to clear his vision. It may have looked as though he was celebrating that pass, but it's pretty impressive, though. I mean, you got a guy out there with a zip code for a number holding off Casey Johnson, Brandis, Ramsey. I mean, this is an impressive ride for him. I know he knows the track, but it's not like these guys haven't been here before.
And Brock Sellers, we saw what a fine moto he had just earlier. There's Casey Johnson, number 16, trying to catch Carter now.
This looks like a big group of guys right now just trying to watch and see what Carter does out there.
He probably knows the track better. They're right in their interview.
Look at Ramsey just pegged through there. That's scary. You hit one little bump just before you leave the ground right there, and that's big trouble.
3 of the 4 Pro Circuit riders having trouble in the very first lap in the first moto. Now trying to regain some kind of pride and get back up in the running here.
This is where the track does start getting really rough, and because it rained, it's going to make it worse. We already heard Talon Bolin talk about how it didn't prep the track, so it's even rougher to begin with. That's where they think Carter might be stronger.
Ricky Carmichael has checked out. He's our leader. We'll be right back in a moment.
I got a new car with a red tail light. It's like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contour hood. She goes up, and she's rocking good. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free, and it'll return the favor.
ESPN's countdown of the 50 greatest athletes of the century.
Red Grange, galloping ghost of Illinois and probably the greatest of them all.
Just 5'11" and 175 pounds, his plan was simple. If you have the football and 11 guys are after you, if you're smart, you'll run. The Galloping Ghost did just that. Continuing our countdown to number 1, ESPN Sports Century athlete number 28, Red Grange. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
Welcome back to Southwick, Massachusetts. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns bringing you the action as Ricky Carmichael is our leader in the second moto of the 125s. And don't forget, we've got the second 250 moto coming up next.
Johnson right there holding down 5th, still chasing Scott Carter. There he is up there in the orange. Look at Sellards, a couple of positions behind Johnson. This gives you an idea of the depth of talent in the 125 class. Sellards in 7th right now. 2nd in the first moto, a strong ride here in a battle just to try to get in the top 5.
They're riding well is probably the difference of a good start.
Absolutely. With this much talent, start makes a huge difference. Sellards gets by Johnson. It looks like Casey is just sort of, for whatever reason, is just slowed completely off the pace.
Well, he might not be fully recovered from that injury. And there's Scott Sheik. He's still down, being attended to. So the battle rages on.
Well, it's obvious that right now something's happened to Casey Johnson. He's not at 100%.
Time for our Suzuki flashback. We go back to 1992, 125 action here at Southwick. Jeremy McGrath, riding for Mitch Payton's Peak Racing team, was impressive in the opener. He battled with former 125 champion Guy Cooper early in the moto. Number 17, McGrath, gaining his first national moto victory. Larry Ward, seen right here of Team Suzuki, would win the overall on this day. After a 4th in the opening moto, he took the checkers in the second. Ward, a 4-1 for the championship. Back to 1999 now as Carter still holding off this freight train of riders, including Brock Sellards. Let's go down to the mechanics area.
All right, Dean, a little tough for Brock out there right now. Can he do anything to come back?
He got a bad start, and he's been one of those guys that get a bad start. It takes him a while to get around people, and his goggles will probably mess up. You know, he's having a hard time, but I think if he gets by them, then he'll move forward pretty quick.
Brock Sellards trying for his best finish this year. He's had a 6th overall, a 3rd, and a 9th in the first 3 races. Been very consistent, though.
The opportunity is right there in front of him. If he can get around Ramsey and Carter, they're within his grasp.
And that might even put him on the podium.
Well, this track has really gotten rough. And just the difference of a couple of motos, the track just took a beating. Now these guys are taking a beating. Look at the way they just collapse into these holes.
In case you're just tuning in, we had quite a rainstorm go through for the first motos of the 250s. And right now it's drying out rapidly. Medical personnel taking care of Scott Sheik, and don't be too alarmed. A lot of that probably is precautionary, David.
I think overly precautionary. Just he bumped his head pretty good on that tree as he went around the corner, which was just a freak thing. It took his visor off, and my guess is a mild concussion, and he's just not too quick to get moving, and I want to make sure they don't make a mistake in getting him out of there.
Here's our leader, Ricky Carmichael. Boy, is he just taken off with this second moto. Ricky looking for his 4th consecutive victory to start the season.
The kid's just fast, Art. I mean, everything that he does, even when there's a Suzuki stopwatch, we're going to find out just how fast. But even when he's just cruising, his momentum is still there. He's still able to carry a lot more speed through some of the corners than everybody else, simply because he understands when to be on the power, when to cruise a little bit, when to hop over a hole.
We're searching for the 2nd place rider to emphasize how far in front Ricky Carmichael is.
That's how good he is. That's still not second.
Talon Volan is the 2nd place rider. This looks like him coming around the corner now. Let's check it out. He's got the red colors. Yeah, that's Talon. Boy, what a lead for Ricky Carmichael.
Almost 40 seconds. Imagine what that does to Talon. He's trying as hard as he can, and he's losing by that much of a gap. And I credit him for being positive. Each week, regardless of how he has lost to Carmichael, he's turned that into a positive in a way that he's going to be able to eventually defeat him. But, geez, 40 seconds before the race is over with is pretty demoralizing.
He's hit the podium every time and has had good finishes. Hoping to stay close should something happen to Ricky Carmichael. There's Carter, Ramsey, and then Brock Sellards. Sellards number 27.
They're all moving up on Fonseca, who to me looks a little bit tired, Art. And they caught him in a hurry, and he's just kind of standing around trying to find all the smooth lines.
Sellards in 6th, as you see there.
This track is just beautiful right now. Rough, plenty of lines, plenty of places to pass. The rain just packed this track down perfect. Makes me want to get out there and ride, Art.
Well, if you fans out there in TV land haven't seen a motocross in person, you've missed a lot of exciting action. Check out the motocross at a track near you on their upcoming schedule. We'll be right back.
Suzuki has completely restyled the Katana 600 and 750, from their dual halogen headlights to their 4-in-1 stainless steel exhausts.
Same time tomorrow? Yeah.
So now they're just as impressive on the outside as they've always been on the inside.
Hello? Bill, Jimmy Miller died. He left his wife and kids with a big mortgage, no savings, and no life insurance. Bill, do we have enough coverage?
Chances are you can more than double your current term life insurance without paying 1 penny more in premiums. Just call Best Quote. We'll rush you a free, no-obligation rate comparison containing quotes from 5 of the nation's top-rated insurers. Right now, a 35-year-old non-smoking male can get $250,000 of term life for about $11.90 a month, guaranteed 10 years. If that's less than you're currently paying, simply call Best Quote at this number. Your free rate comparison will be prepared and rushed to you at once.
Honey, it's Bill. I just heard from Best Quote. We can double my coverage and get coverage for you as well.
Call Best Quote today at 1-800-652-0101. There's no obligations and no hassles. Simply the best insurance at the best rates from Best Quote. Call 1-800-652-0101. No salesperson will ever call you.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2, Friday Night Fights. This week, Diggs versus Rivera. Then the main event, Sam Judah takes on David Sample. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 9 on ESPN2.
We're back at Southwick, Massachusetts. The second 125 moto of the afternoon winding down. Ricky Carmichael is our leader. But most of the action has been right here with these riders for 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th places.
What's happened is Ramsey and Sellers are putting the pressure on Scott Carter. Now this whole pack has caught Fonseca, who I think is fading a little bit right now.
Carter, the youngster out of the Northeast who knows this track like the back of his hand, trying to hold on as Ramsey gets by him underneath there. He was as high as 4th in this moto after a 10th place finish in the opening moto.
Finally, that pressure is just a little bit too much. Carter's starting to make little mistakes here and there. Shouldn't have gone that far wide in that corner with Ramsey that close to him. He knows that now, but it's too late.
Nathan Ramsey, the 125 Supercross West champion. Number 25 on the Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Boy, it's getting rough right there. Carter bouncing up. Looks back, shakes his head. Who's next, he's saying to himself. Brock Sellard says, excuse me, I'm coming through.
Well, that's what happens. You lose your concentration a little bit. There's his mechanic. Oh, come on, get up there. He ran with those guys the whole race, was unintimidated. This is best I can figure. Watch Carter's head. He's looking over at his mechanic's pit board, not looking where he's going. Boom, he hits a hole right there, gets a little bit out of control, and then Sellers takes advantage on the inside. I don't know, to tell you the truth, Art, that it mattered to him that much that he got passed right there because he was just getting tired of all that pressure.
He's still in line for an excellent finish.
Yeah, he's still going to bump it up quite a bit from that 10th place in the first moto. He'll be happy with that, but I think he'd been a little happier if he was able to fight these guys off all the way to the end.
Sellards, after that second in the first moto, is gunning for Ramsey right now. Whoa, a little scraping, a little bump in there. And Brock Sellards, with a lot of rebound in that back tire, passes Ramsey.
You know, the race just cruises along lap after lap. Nothing much changes, and all of a sudden in 2 or 3 corners, everything happens at once. And Sellards had that confidence after the first moto, seems to be having things going his way today. Took advantage right there. He's still got Fonseca.
Fonseca, number 100, Yamaha of Troy right in front of him, Ramsey in back of him. Looked like Ramsey was having a little slick problem back.
That's the hardest corner on this entire racetrack, that left-hander. It's hard packed, soft, chewed up, soft rim on the outside, a rut on the inside. It's difficult.
Look at this. Sellards making mincemeat of Fonseca in that one. So he currently now has moved into 3rd behind Volan and Ricky Carmichael.
Now he has got this place dialed in. Sellards might have been a little bit more of a battle for Carmichael had he gotten better starts.
Our Suzuki rundown, Carmichael, Volan, Sellards, the top 3, and Ricky just sailing along, looking back, saying, hey, who's that behind me?
Oh, he's looking at Matt Walker.
Matt Walker.
I think he's trying to let Matt get another lap in. Matt's going, no, just finish. I'm done. That's funny.
The two buddies, as you heard earlier, Walker working out with Carmichael, and Ricky Carmichael takes the checkered flag, his 4th consecutive victory, a 1-1 sweep for the 3rd time on the season. Carmichael, Volan, Sellards are top 3 with Nick Way moving up to 4th, Fonseca in 5th. Dave is with our winner, Ricky Carmichael.
Hey, you know, we're used to RC being in a zone, but I think now we're going to have to start defining zones. Where were you today?
I don't know. I'll tell you what, I did some hard work before this race, hoping it would be a lot hotter. But I didn't get my wish. But, you know, I had fun. Me and Yogi and Matt Walker, I tell you what, we did some military motos this week, and it paid off. My Kawasaki was running great, and the Bridgestone tires got me off the gate pretty good, and got out there and did my own thing.
Yeah, tell us about the start, Ricky. How tough was it to get out of the water?
It was pretty tough, you know. I spun a little bit, but can't complain. I won the moto, so I'm happy.
All right, another 1-1 for Ricky Carmichael, overall winner today.
Let's take a look at the overall list. The sweep for Ricky Carmichael, Sellards, Volan, Nick Way with 11 and 4. And look at that, Danny Smith with a 4 and 12 for 5th overall. Let's go back to Dave.
Allen second in the second moto, 3rd overall. Not bad considering the first moto. Compare your second run.
Yeah, you know, second was okay. Ricky just had the edge on me today. What can I say? He rode really good that moto. I failed 3 times in the first race, and it was my mistake, you know. You got to be mature enough not to make those mistakes, so keep working on it, keep focusing. Championship's still young, you know, there's a lot of races to go. I just didn't have the energy for that second moto. I had to pick up my bike so many times, you burn so many adrenaline rushes that I just didn't have the reserve fuel, so I just rode my race, rode my lines. He was a little bit better than me today. Have to be mature to say that, but maybe next time I'll be better than him.
Ricky Carmichael headed for his 3rd consecutive 125 National Crown, a 33-point lead on Volan. Sellards 35 and back of Volan in the points race. The 250 riders are at the gate getting ready for their final moto here at Southwick, Massachusetts. Mike LaRocco hoping to improve on his 2nd place standing at the first moto. Doug Henry, this is his home track. We will return with the 250s.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to a place like this. To see if they could get out. Because if Honda ATVs can handle this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, they can handle almost anything you'll throw at them. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Honda ATVs. Best on earth.
Car with the red tail lights like blue on the corners and it's hung in tight. It's got a rag top and a contoured hood. She goes and she's rocking. Let's go!
The 1999 Mazda Miata. Set it free and it'll return the favor.
The moment that many fans have been waiting for now, the final 250 moto of the afternoon. Another shot of Mike LaRocco getting set, and they're burning those tires.
I haven't been in a more exciting starting line in just about all of racing. All the fans are packed right there at the starting line. That's the chance they get to get the closest to the riders. There have been times when the people were louder than the bikes.
Did you like the cement starting block?
Hey, I could get a good start anywhere but here. I never got a start inside the top 20 at Southwick.
Ezra Lusk, number 4. He won the first moto, looking for the sweep. John Dowd looking for an overall victory, as Dowdy took a 3rd in that first one. 44, Sebastian Tortelli. He's endangered now of losing his points lead to Ezra Lusk without a decent performance here in the second moto. 32nd board is up. It'll go sideways, and we'll get this second moto underway from Southwick, Massachusetts. They're starting to rev up. The gate will drop any second now. The fans going crazy in the background, and they're off. And look at that, John Dowd. He gets another great start. Team Yamaha's John Dowd is out in front. Ezra Lusk once again as they get tied up in that first turn.
Tortelli getting a terrible start going around the outside. He avoided those riders going down, but still was at the back of the pack.
Weeding it out. Henry gets by that dangerous area where he went down in the first moto. Dowd really putting it on the berm. There's Lamson in 3rd. Koikita in 4th.
Yeah, good start for the Japanese rider, Koikita.
John Dowd, Ezra Lusk. Deja vu of the first moto as far as the first 2 are concerned. We'll see how long Ezra waits this time. He waited quite a while in the first moto.
I think it'll really depend on what's happening behind him. If they start to pull away like they did the first moto, he'll be patient because he knows that physically he may be a little bit closer to 100%, if not at 100%, where Dowd's still struggling to come back from that injury.
Henry, Albertine in good position there. You hear the 4-stroke of Jimmy Button going by.
Bad start for Emig. He was even behind Tortelli. Made up a lot of ground that first lap so far.
Emig with a 9th in the first moto. Checking out the leaderboard. Doug Henry moving up to 5th. There's Albertine. Austin Squires, number 120, in good position.
Lusk running that outside line on the 250 doesn't seem too bad. It's a much longer distance to go all the way out there, but it was smooth.
Larry Ward in 20th.
He's had a tough time with starts. So is Emig. I really believe that if Emig was getting the hole shots he got last year, he'd be up in there figuring out the pace. But when you come in from a moto and you're going, who won? You know, how are you going to figure out what everyone's doing out there? The pace, the lines, completely out of touch.
We talk a lot about Dowd and Henry. Very familiar with this part of the country. Whoa! Albertine is involved in a crash. That was Austin Squires, number 120, just getting up first. But what a traffic jam, causing a detour right here. Number 28, Heath Voss. He's the privateer on a Honda, but Albertine losing some valuable time, which will translate into points later on.
A rider just coming by, hitting the bike. He was stuck there, getting roosted the whole time. That was right before the mechanics area, and they can't really do anything about it. That's a frustrating situation for Albie.
Earlier, I was getting into the fact that Henry and Dowd are certainly good here on their home track. Excellent, in fact. But it's Jeff Stanton who's the king of Southwick. 4 straight national victories at this track. Let's go to Dave.
Hey, Brian, I heard you say you wish Southwick was a couple weeks later. I mean, given John's condition physically right now, how long do you think he can hold him off?
Well, that's the problem right now. There's no telling. He's been working real hard. You know, each week he's been getting stronger and stronger. So could be 20 minutes, could be 30. You know, he could be right there to 30 plus 2. But, you know, if it was a couple weeks later, I'd know where he was at. So that's cool.
Dowd has done a tremendous job at accelerating his rehabilitation as he tries to hold off Ezra Lusk for the 2nd straight moto. Ezra looking more serious right now as far as a passing possibility.
You know, he has definitely made his commitment to stay right on his rear tire and soak up all that roost because he believes now's the time to make his move.
Last year, we saw the toughness of Ezra Lusk, riding through some painful injuries. We've always known he's fast, but he entered into this motocross season with a different glaze in his eye. It was a glaze of almost holding back the reins, looking for consistency this season and a possible points championship. Join us next on ESPN2 as we'll bring you the action from Budds Creek in that 5th round.
I got moves and game, versatility and fame. I am Nikki McCray.
I play intense. I play to win. I just want the rock. I am Shamiqua Holtzclaw.
If you thought last year was exciting, you ain't seen nothing yet. Watch the Mystics on HTS.
HTS explodes in July with Mystics basketball.
Wizard Racing, the best prices, the best selection, the best location. On Route 50, just west of Route 28. Phone 449-8950.
Moto number 2 of the 250s. This is the battle for the lead. John Dowd, number 6, Team Yamaha. Ezra Lusk, Team Honda. Ezra's been putting the pressure on the last couple of laps, looking for a move, it looks like.
He's been taking different lines everywhere as well. The Dowd has got to be a little bit more protective of his line, ride a little bit more defensive. Where look at the drive Lusk has.
Whoa! Lusk with a late braking move, and the jump gets by John Dowd.
That was just all-out speed, full commitment. You get a little squirrely at that speed, you're going to go down hard. You know what it looked like Les does as well? As soon as he makes his pass, he puts in a couple of really hard laps just to try to discourage the guy. Make him think, well, heck, I can't keep up with that. And then they just settle for second.
Ezra Lusk with his first moto win of the year in the second event. That was at Hangtown near Sacramento. He's looking for his first overall victory of the season. It would be his third national victory in his career.
You can see the pace by Lusk right now has just been picked up. Now it's pretty intense. It takes a lot of extra energy and confidence to go this pace. He's trying to discourage Dowd right now and put this away.
If Ezra should take the checkered flag here today, that would be another 1-1 sweep for victory.
Old Big Brian Barry's not looking too happy about this. I think you can see the same thing it looks like we're seeing from here is Lusk has decided he's going to win this moto, and that's that.
This is the battle for third place. Steve Lampson, Doug Henry, Mike LaRocco.
This ought to be good. Lampson does not want to give this up. He's had some opportunities up there. The first moto, he just got robbed with a goofy kind of a crash. Stuck under the bike. Henry had the same kind of thing happen as well. The first lap had to start from last, and LaRocco, he's just going to charge all the way past that checkered flag no matter what.
Steve Lampson, number 24, Doug Henry. And Henry makes the pass on Lammy. We mentioned Carmichael winning his 4th consecutive national. He won 6 in a row last year. The record holder is Steve Lampson in the 125 ranks. 7 nationals in a row. Doug Henry, though, doing a nice job moving into third place. Lammy now in 4th with LaRocco right at his tail.
In order to go fast on this racetrack, you've got to have the confidence in your strength, your stamina. You've got to be so on your toes. You've got so many different lines to choose from. Holes you got to make sure you miss. And you got to be brave. Look at LaRocco, makes the pass. In order to do that, you've just got to hold it wide open and go through bumps that you know you're going to have to absorb. If you don't, you could go down.
Henry in 3rd, LaRocco in 4th, and now Lampson in 5th. While Ezra Lusk leads with John Dowd in 2nd place, let's have a Honda riding tip.
And since we're here in Southwick at the sandiest racetrack on the circuit, it's a good time to talk about how to ride in the sand. And first of all, you want to set up the bike a little bit stiffer, maybe a little stiffer in the front so that front end doesn't dive into all the corners and plow. A little bit slower on the rebound. You'll notice the riders stand up quite a bit more. You got to be comfortable with standing up, let the bike work underneath you. The track is so much rougher. And as always, the use of the clutch. Get that perfect power band. Watch Ezra right here. He's going to keep a finger on that clutch and just feather, make the perfect power so you can keep the front end light. You want to wheelie over most of the big bumps. And another way to keep the front end light is you'll see Ezra right here riding a little bit further to the back of the motorcycle. Wheelies through the corner. But here in a berm, Kevin demonstrates the better technique all the way up to the back of the tank, right in the middle of the bike, letting that bike bounce up and down underneath him, and his body stays relatively still. For this week's Honda riding tip, I'm David Bailey.
Back to the action now at Southwick, Massachusetts. Kevin Windham, number 14, trying to hold off Sebastian Tortelli for 6th place. And this is a big thing for Tortelli. He's losing some points. He's in danger of losing the points lead to Ezra Lusk, who after winning the first moto is in the lead here.
And for the 2nd moto in a row, he finds himself in a battle with his teammate. Kevin won that battle in the first moto, set him back some points. He's about to do the same thing again here. I really thought Tortelli would shine on this racetrack, but I've gotten poor starts here, the same as he's done today, and really wasn't able to do that much with it. I never won here. Start is important. It's probably running about the same pace as Lusk, but if you don't start with him, it doesn't do you much good.
Tortelli looking to make a move right now. He's on the inside of that berm. Windham real close to the mechanics area, and Tortelli makes the pass.
Kevin got a little bit too wide in the corner before the mechanics area, went on the outside of the berm. If you're running by yourself, that line might not be that bad, but Tortelli right there, you can't leave the door open.
Steve Lampson. Tortelli.
Tortelli jumping through that line. That's a little bit new. Faster, too.
So the action continues. As Ezra Lusk and John Dowd are 1 and 2 with Henry in 3rd. We'll be right back.
It's Honda. Everybody wants to ride for Honda. That's the house of racing.
If you can't get around on that thing, you better look into another sport.
The new F4, I think, is awesome. It's stable, it's fast, and it's going to be ready to rock.
It's dog eat dog, you know? You go out there, and everyone has one idea, and that's that they're going to win. My dreams were to be with Honda. I had always ridden Honda, so that's where I wanted to be.
I just want to go out there and win every time I go out there. I want to be as fast or the fastest guy.
Jumps ahead of the Honda CBR 600 F4.
I want to have people hate me because I won't stop.
Mr. President, a message from G. Gordon Liddy.
Mr. President, G. Gordon Liddy here. Hey, we've had our differences. Who have we had our differences? But you really should be in Pasadena at the finals of the Women's World Cup.
Ham, Akers, Foudy, and the U.S. team need to show a lot of heart when they face the offensive firepower of Brazil. Then China takes on the defending champs Norway in a Women's World Cup doubleheader. U.S.-Brazil at 4:30 on ESPN, then China-Norway at 7:30 on ESPN2. The Women's World Cup semifinals today.
Back at Southwick, Massachusetts for round 4 of AMA Motocross, Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Dave Burns bringing you the action. It's Ezra Lusk in first place, John Dowd in second. This is the battle for third. Larocco putting the pressure on Doug Henry. And then it's Lamson and Tortelli behind him.
Tortelli really putting the pressure on Lamson now, too. Look how close Tortelli follows. I mean, if anything goes wrong with Lamson, he's bought. He doesn't have to take advantage. It's already done. That's the advantage of following somebody that close. That's what Johnson used to do to me. That's what Hannah always did to people.
And to the inside, Tortelli takes him.
That's what I'm talking about. Just the slightest mistake by Lamson, and it's a pass for Tortelli.
And here's a pass for Mike Larocco, getting in front of Doug Henry. Lots of action here at Southwick in this second moto.
I like the way Tortelli goes around that corner. He just jumps through there a little bit faster. All the little places on the racetrack, Tortelli has managed to find a little something extra. That's why he's always coming through the pack. This guy ever got hole shots? I don't know. It might be what Carmichael does at the 125 class in the 250s, and that's hard to imagine with all the talent.
Ezra Lusk, John Dowd, Mike Larocco, Doug Henry, Sebastian Tortelli, our new lineup. Ezra Lusk, though, still picking up valuable points. He would take over the points lead if it ends like this. And here's a good shot of Ezra from Bainbridge, Georgia. Looking for his first win on the season. He would become the third Honda team rider to win on the season. Tortelli winning the opener. Kevin Windham already winning a national this season. And that would be the only time that we can figure in the history of the Nationals 250s that Team Honda has had 3 of their team members win a national in the same season.
Well, I'm thinking that's pretty successful. Good pick for this team, and even without Pichon now, they're still able to put together a pretty strong team. They got great Supercross riders, guys that are young. Interesting Tortelli coming over here. So the contrast of styles and personalities at Honda, they're complementing each other well now.
Interesting situation for the team manager, Cliff White, to handle. Tortelli going back and forth now with Doug Henry. And Tortelli moves up another notch.
So second lap in a row, he finds his way by through the mechanics area. So his mechanics stoked. He's making the pass right in front of him.
News was confirmed today that Ezra Lusk is re-upped for 2 more years for the Red Riders at Honda. And that probably takes a load off his shoulders.
I feel really good. You know, it's been a while. It's been a couple months now, or a few months now that we've been negotiating this deal, and it's really, really good for me to get it off and get it off my chest and be able to move on. And I will be with Honda for 2 more years. It's official, and it's a done deal.
The latest signing means no silly season for the Red Riders, with Lusk, Windham, and Tortelli all coming back. Tranquility, a far cry from a week ago when Honda ended up letting go Mikel Pichon.
I seen him, punch John Ayers in the back of the neck a few times, and so I went over and grabbed Mikel and said, this is wrong.
Unfortunately, resulted in our terminating Mikel's contract.
Water's not passing under his bridge. He's over in Europe racing today, and he's got a contract for the next 2 years. So, I'm happy for him that he's got something else.
The bike will stay in the truck. I doubt if we'll find anybody else to use it. There's no plan to do that at this point.
I think that Mikel would be happier somewhere else doing something else. I don't know. But I know Honda, we've all been working together, and we have a really great team, and we're just going to keep fighting and fighting and try to win this outdoor championship.
Well, they got a good shot at it. Number 1 and 2 in the points. Here's Larry Ward, number 7, after a very difficult first moto, coming in at 8th place. Looks like he's really stepped it up a notch. He's attacking now. Steve Lamson, number 24.
He's got the inside. And that's going to do it.
The block pass just enough for Larry Ward to get by.
And then Steve Lamson looked back as if to see who was next. That's not a good sign. Anytime you look back, you're telling yourself you're getting maybe a little bit weaker. You're starting to expect somebody to catch up to you. It's just, I don't know, it's not a good practice.
Larry Ward trying to certainly improve on a very difficult start. A 12th overall in the first round, 11th in the second, and a 15th in the third. He was 16 and 14 in the 2 motos.
Sometimes it takes a good racetrack or a place where you've done well in the past to get back on track. We heard Dowd say that earlier. Larry Ward has won here on the 125 and had good results here on the 250, so maybe it's just a moto that's going to kind of get things clicking for Larry, and he'll be able to pick it up from here on out. He's definitely better, much better rider than 10th place, 12th place. He doesn't belong back there.
Our rundown of riders: Les Dowd, Laraco Tortelli. Ferry's now in 20th position behind Jimmy Button. Look at all the talent in the bottom side of the top 10.
That's part of Larry's problem as well, not getting the starts you need and not being able to take advantage of when you do get good starts. You get caught back there and you just can't move up. There's too many good riders.
Button's knocking on the door to Wyndham. Cuts to the inside. Number 10 on the 4-stroke. Makes the pass on Kevin Wyndham.
That just takes so much strength. It's basically a battle of just who's stronger, who can do one more rep. Who can lift more weight. That's basically what it is. You're carrying this heavy motorcycle around the track, hitting all these holes, and eventually you're just like, you know what? I just want the white flag to come out.
Tim Ferry making the move on Kevin Wyndham as well. Tim Ferry, number 20. Mazda Chaparral Yamaha. He's the teammate of number 24, Steve Lamson. More bad luck for Robbie Rayner, number 17. There's Tony Berluti of Team Suzuki.
Hard to tell what's wrong there. It looks to me like that's a problem with him, not the motorcycle. That's just a guess.
Tim Ferry's on a mission to move up another notch. Here's a good sortie with Jimmy Button. Ferry looking very aggressive.
That was smart. He just decided, you know what? I don't like where this berm's going. I'm cutting to the inside. He does it again. He is knocking on the door.
Almost touch wheels, and Jimmy Button stalls the machine. Whoa, good break for Tim Ferry. Tim Ferry in only his second ride with Team Chaparral after signing mid-season as a privateer. We'll be right back with more action in a moment.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life, and most of the century's top inventions came from individuals, not companies. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? Are you interested in trying to submit your idea to companies for a good faith review and in trying to patent it as well? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm with over 50 offices nationwide. Call this toll-free number now to see how to get this free information. The information includes forms to assure confidentiality, a form to record and date your idea, plus an informative brochure that explains how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's data bank and how to apply for a patent. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product, you'll want to call now for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call toll-free 1-800-652-0101. That's 1-800-652-0101.
To err is human. To catch air, divine. The X Games. Tonight at 9:30 on ESPN2.
AMA Motocross is brought to you by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red. What a great day of racing we've seen here at Southwick, Massachusetts. This is the final 250 moto of the day. The final lap is underway. Ezra Lusk is our leader, but this is very important. Mike LaRocco in third, Tortelli in fourth. Tortelli trying to cut his losses. Ezra Lusk can take over the points lead that Tortelli had coming into this race if Tortelli doesn't move up. Mike LaRocco is a tough guy to beat in this situation, though, David.
Well, you just rather have to pass anybody but Mike LaRocco on the last lap, because that's where he's strong. I don't think he's going to leave the door open anywhere.
Whoa, Tortelli's trying everything he knows how. Paul Delorier, LaRocco's mechanic, jumping up and down, waving him on. This is the battle for third, as first and second pretty well defined. There's Paul.
These are two tough riders. Look at the intensity now between these two guys. Everything's just been stepped up. You can sense something is going to happen.
LaRocco winning this race back in 1994, as we mentioned earlier. Ezra Lusk is our leader, and he's coasting.
Well-deserved win. He attacked right away. Put the race out of reach for everyone else. He had doubt out there to trouble him for a little while, but at least he had somebody fast to follow.
This would be his very first 1-1 sweep in national action. He takes the checkers. A little extracurricular move there as he came across the jump.
I didn't think he had enough airtime for that, but he still did it in.
Ezra Lusk, a great day for him. He takes over the points lead. Sebastian Tortelli losing some more points. Tortelli is down. He still has a chance for fourth place if he can get that bike started. He's underway. It looks like he will secure fourth. So Ezra Lusk is our winner with John Dowd in second. Mike LaRocco in third with Tortelli fourth. Ward, his best finish of the year. Greg Albertine all the way back to sixth. He was last after that crash. Remember everyone detouring around him. Let's go down to the winner's platform now, and Dave Burns.
Mike, that's going to be good for third overall, but you came from a long way back in this moto. How tough was it?
It was tough. Track was tough, you know, as tough as I ever rode it. And, you know, I was beat trying to get around Henry, and there was still a long ways to go. I knew I had speed this weekend, but, you know, the track was tough, and I could make up the difference.
All right, good job today.
Thanks.
Lusk becomes the fourth different rider to win an overall in the first 4 races. There's never been 5. Maybe next week. Lusk, Dowd, and LaRocco on the podium. Tortelli, 4th overall, and Greg Albertine moving up to 5th with a 4 and 6 moto performance. Let's go back to the podium now, and Dave.
All right, John, in front of the hometown crowd, it was a great ride for you, and you knew you had to do well in that second moto in order to get second overall. Good job.
Yeah, these guys are going good today. You know, it's a tough track, and just coming back from the shoulder, this is the best I've done so far by far. So I'm pretty happy. You know, I would have liked to win, but I'm pretty happy. I put in a couple strong motos, and looking forward to next week.
Is there no way to hold Ezra off given the injury and all?
He was riding good today. You know, I was pushing pretty hard, and you know, he was just going faster than me. You know, so I probably could have pushed a little harder, but I might have ended up on the ground. So I was trying to play a little bit safe. You know, he was going fast. So.
All right, second overall for John Dowd, and a great ride in the second moto.
Ezra Lusk now moving into the points lead. He came into this race 11 points down and leaves with a 6-point lead on Sebastian Tortelli, his teammate. Greg Albertine also in the mix. Let's go back to Dave.
All right, a tough ride and a tough place to pull off a 1-1, Ezra, here at Southwick, one of the toughest tracks. How difficult was that?
Well, first, it's like been a long dream for me to be able to go 1-1. I feel like if you can go 1-1 at a national, that's dominance, and it's something I've always wanted to do. And I knew coming here it'd be one of the toughest with John and Doug, but man, my Honda, Dunlop, Fox didn't let me down.
All right. Ezra, congratulations. Who else you want to thank today?
Scott Goggles, my mechanic, Mike Gosler, for being one of my best friends. I'm a mechanic. And Honda for giving me 2 more years of a chance. And if you guys don't know, I'm with Honda for 2 more years, and I'm really, really excited. And I just did that deal this week, and it's a lot of pressure off my shoulders, and I'm glad to represent them for 2 more years.
All right, and you wonder if the contract made any difference? Ezra Lusk, a 1-1 today, the overall winner here at Southwick.
I'm impressed with Ezra's maturity now in this outdoor series. Not only has he worked his way into the points lead, but he's done it with dominance on the roughest track so far this year. And to make it even sweeter, another 2 years at Honda.
Our next run will be at Budds Creek, Maryland. And I suppose the big question is, can anyone stop this guy, Ricky Carmichael, from gaining his 5th consecutive 125 victory? He has now won 7 out of the 8 motos this year in 125 action. Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Dave Burns saying thank you for being with us. This has been a production of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more information, log on to ESPN.